Remember Me? Yeah, it's one of those games I played back in high school, but for one reason or another I was too lazy or distracted to finish. I don't remember much about it besides it having something to do with memories and the camera being shitty. For nostalgia's sake, let's take a trip down memory lane. And I just realized this whole paragraph is a pun on memories. I want to kill myself. This is made by Don't Nod Entertainment, the people who are well known today for the Life is Strange games. With that in mind, I expect a more story-driven experience with a lot of feels that results in tears rushing out my pain. The game starts with an advertisement. The fuck, I already bought your shit, man, now you're selling me more? The ad is for Senzen, a device that digitizes memory, allowing people to view, obtain, delete, or manipulate them. It's pretty popular and everyone uses it, and of course, someone's gonna use it for evil. You play as Nilin, a memory hunter or errorist. Who gets captured by the government and has her memories erased. Okay, after a short cutscene, you gain control of the camera, and holy fuck, it sucks. The mouse controls are borderline unplayable. This is one of the many signs of a shitty PC port. One of the biggest offenders: emulated mouse control. Basically when a dev mapped the joystick to the mouse instead of natively implementing it, so it feels stiff and full of jank. It becomes more of a problem the further you get. It jitters all over the place and it makes the fighting more difficult than it should be. Don't be like me and use a controller. Shit camera aside, the game looks great. I played this game in 1440p on the highest settings and I feel the graphics has aged very well except for the pixely textures. It's a cool looking game. Nilin has to escape this lab prison facility place with the help of a stranger. She crawls under a big door, gets chased by a big robo, and leaves in a coffin. Now we get some exposition. The man's name is Edge. He's Nilin's partner. Nilin's a memory hunter fighting for the freedom of people's minds and memories, but shit went wrong during one of her jobs and she got captured. Nilin arrives in a ruined subway station and encounters these hunchback dudes called Leapers. They're basically people with sense and addictions and are now left with broken minds. Remember Me's combat is very combo based. There are in total 4 combos you can do, and you can customize them with different effects called pressings. I laughed my caca when I first heard this. Get it? Pressings? Like pressing buttons? Like what you do when you fight? Yeah. You start off with some red pressings, which adds damage for your combo. You can punch, kick, and dodge. It's a simple combat system, but it does get more complex as you progress. After beating those fools, Edge tells you to go meet Tommy, a fellow memory hunter, to get her gear back. Along the way, you do some light platforming, kinda like Uncharted. Sometimes there are these images that pop up showing hidden stashes. When you collect them in a set of 5, your health will increase. This gives players a good reason to explore, and that's cool. After some platforming and exploring, you meet Tommy, who's all friendly, grabbing your ass and shit. Nilin gets her errorist gear back on, but gets interrupted by Olga Sadova, a bounty hunter who wants money to pay for her husband's hospital bills. It is here where memory remixing is introduced. This is a very cool part of the game. Basically, you have to change someone's memory by switching up some details within them, like pressing a button or unlocking the safety of a gun. It's fun to see how each detail can change the memory. There's a lot of trial and error involved though. It's not obvious what you need to change in order to properly remix the memory, so you just have to try everything. Every time you remix the wrong thing, you have to rewind by rotating the mouse or joystick. I don't know about the joystick, but rotating the mouse is kind of unresponsive at times. It just makes me want it to be controlled by a button instead. Nilin changes Olga's memory of her husband from sick but alive to brutally killed by machinery and joins her cause in taking down Memorize. Between levels, you get to watch Nilin have an existential crisis from her amnesia. Here you get to listen to her inner thoughts about the current situation, and has her wondering if she has the right to instantaneously change people's memories to further a cause that she doesn't even remember committing to. So far it's a decent start. We got a taste of the gameplay, and we got a goal to work towards. Nothing too mind-blowing, but it's definitely interesting. Next we go to Neo Paris, where the rich people live. The views are very nice to look at here. Damn, this place pretty. I forgot to mention a new type of pressing, the healing type. That's right, there are no healing items in this game. To heal, you have to incorporate it into a combo using presence. I'm kinda split on this. On one hand, it's cool to get healed from punching a dude in the face, but on the other hand, it's a bit inconvenient when you have to heal, but you have to do a combo. It's certainly unique, but gameplay wise doesn't flow too well in my opinion. It gets more fucked up later when the game starts to throw a bunch of shit at you. Like, man, it was a miracle that I even survived half that shit. To deal with a massive amount of enemies, you use special presence that allow nilin to perform big moves with big damage. Just like when you use a skill in an MMO, there's a cooldown period for special presence. Just like when you use a skill in an MMO, there's a cooldown period for special presence. To cool down faster, you have to use the purple presence in a combo. Everything you need to survive is from performing combos, but it makes the combat sections very slow because hitting enemies with a heal or cooldown presence costs less damage than a red attack presence. So basically you have to separate each combo into a specific use, like one for damage, another for healing, and one for a bit of everything else. I guess there's a bit of strategy into making the best combo to destroy Batman with, but I didn't find myself giving two dicks about it. It's just easier to separate combos into different uses. Okay, there's some platforming involved. It's a standard hop on the walls, climb on ledge kind of platforming like in Uncharted or the new Tomb Raider games. Nothing out of the ordinary. There are also some stealth sections which are pretty standard. Just stay out of the highlighted spots and you're good. The first boss you face is this big wrestler dude who worked with nilin in the past as an errorist. Boss fights in this game are pretty self-explanatory. It's usually a combination of the latest special presence you've acquired and punching the ass out of them. These are fun for what they are, not too challenging until near the end, but fun. The arenas often look pretty cool, filled with tech effects everywhere. What I don't like though are the quick time events. I generally don't have a problem with them if they're done right. As long as they're clearly visible and display the right prompts to press, I'm okay with them. Not in this game though. The prompts are tailored for controllers. There's one at the top, bottom, left, and right, which corresponds to the controller button layout. It's way less intuitive when using mouse and keyboard. Instead of looking at the direction or the position of the prompts and immediately know which button to press, I had to look at the prompts, fucking look at what the image is, and then press the right button. It's an extra step that slows down QuickTime events and defeats the purpose of them being quick. I keep fucking them up because my eyeballs can't read the prompts in time. They could easily fix this by replacing those images with mouse and keyboard icons, but I guess that was too much to ask. The enemy variety is certainly not lacking. We have a lot of hunchbacks from Notre Dame, guards, invisible hunchbacks from Notre Dame, big hunchbacks from Notre Dame, flying robots, shield robots, and so on. Some of them require a unique way to defeat, and that spices things up a bit. Unfortunately, the combat gets very repetitive. It's kind of fun in the beginning, but then it just becomes a huge chore. They throw a bunch of shit at you towards the end, and all the enemies take so long to kill. They're like guards with electric armor with flying robots alongside hunky buff robos dropping down from the sky, and each of them has to be handled a specific way. It's very overwhelming and it just becomes very not fun at all. There are puzzles in this game, if you could call them that. You sometimes have to shoot circles in order to put platforms in the right position or get somewhere in time after you press a button. They're kind of boring, nothing much to say. There were a couple of riddles near the end that made me feel like a big brain scientist though. They should have had more of those. The characters in this game are generic. You got the hype black dude, Stan, crazy science man, evil guard, the other evil guard, business bitch. I can never remember their names. They assist to either help nilin or get killed. They're just not interesting. There's no time for character development at all for these characters. It's just nilin and Edge. The story on the other hand is okay. The main goal is to destroy Memorize. Throughout the game, nilin steals memory from people who work for them and slowly get to their HQ. There are some twists at the end, but I didn't give a shit. I was just so tired by the end, and I think that sums up the whole thing. Remember Me is tiring. The graphics are nice, I like the cyberpunk aesthetics and the music too. The story is okay, but the characters aren't memorable. While the gameplay and combat has some unique ideas, I found them to be very repetitive. Halfway through, I just want the game to be over with. I think the game would have benefited more if it was shorter and focused more on the story rather than the gameplay. The setting has so much potential for great stories, so it's too bad they didn't go that route. At least there were some epic boss battles and set pieces, those are cool. Oh, and also the performance on PC is kind of shit. Same with the controls, so use a controller if you can. Alright, that's all for me. It took 2 months because I was busy. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, wash your hands, wear a mask, stay home, and don't die. Peace.